What's going on, Omnibuddies? Mitch here, and today I want to take a look at something a lot of collectors lately have been debating, arguing about, some say crying about, some say drawing light to, whatever you want to say. I want to look, hopefully definitively, at paper quality. So what I have here is, I'm getting scientific. I have a pretty nice tool here, and it's called a caliper. And this measures really precisely down to, I believe it's the thousandth, so 0.000 millimeters, and also inches. So we are going to look at the metric side of things today because it's more universal and a lot of actual printers measure in that. And then paper quality and thickness and all that gets really nerdy in, if you're talking paper weight, points, GSM. There's a whole bunch of different ways you can look at it, but I wanted to basically, it doesn't matter too much which way we're looking at it, because it's all going to show differences anyways, and what the exact differences are. So I have 4 Omnis here that I'm going to be measuring. These are all Marvel books, because it doesn't seem like people are complaining too much about DC books or Image or Dark Horse or anything like that. The big debate, the big argument, the big frustration seems to be coming with Marvel books and Marvel omnibuses, to be precise. Omnibu. Marvel Omnis with new printings, new books, reprints, what they're currently printing versus their old paper weights, their old paper thicknesses, whatever you want to call it. And so I grabbed 2 of each. I have the reprint of Doctor Strange, Volume 1. This is the Lee Ditko, Doctor Strange. And the one that seems to have really sparked a lot with people is the reprint of Hickman's Fantastic Four, Volume 1. Because people are really complaining about page thickness, and I'll admit I posted this. I posted a picture, some photo bait of Fantastic Four Volume 1 reprint by Hickman, and I did put in the title that the paper was like razor thin, because I noticed when I was flipping through it, I had to actually like concentrate pretty hard to not accidentally bend or crease the pages. And then a lot of people jumped onto that post, and it was supposed to be more just talking about how awesome the book looks and how awesome it is, but a lot of people just went completely into the paper thickness realm, and it made me wonder what actually did change. How big was the change? And so we're actually going to get down and look at these books close up and measure their page thicknesses. For comparisons, I have the original printing. This has a matte dust jacket, because my dust jacket got all crappy, so that's why it's got a different matte dust jacket, if you're wondering. But this is the original printing of Marvel's Annihilation Omnibus, which people talk about the binding might not be great, but not the pages. The actual paper itself hasn't had any arguments or frustrations that I've seen online. And then the other original book is Captain America, also with a matte dust jacket, because my original got beat up. This is the first printing of Captain America Volume 1 by Ed Brubaker. And so we have 2 original printings, and then we have 2 new Marvel prints here. I'm losing my books. That we are going to look at, just so we can have a little bit more than just one versus the other. We can have 2 old and 2 new, and we can really hopefully settle this debate on if paper quality has really gotten way too thin or not. But I'm not really going to draw too many conclusions for you. I'll just let it speak for itself, and y'all can debate about that, because I don't want to get involved in, you know, yelling at Marvel or anything like that. I love these reprints that they're doing because it lets me get some of these books that I missed out on, that I just kind of slept on too long, or that I just wasn't interested in at first. Or with Doctor Strange, sold and then regretted it and got to get it back. So let's take a look at them and see what the exact science measurements say. All right, so here we have Fantastic Four reprint volume 1, we have Doctor Strange reprint volume 1, and we have Annihilation first print, and Captain America volume 1 by Brubaker first print. So we have 2 first prints from well over five plus years ago, and then these are both from 2022. And then we have some nice Pittsburgh calipers that my dad loaned me, and these are pretty nice ones. They go down to 1/1000th of an inch, I believe it is, 0.000. But we are going to dive right into Fantastic Four Volume 1. We'll open this up. I have stretched these bindings, so please don't freak out about me just straight up opening books. We are, instead of trying to measure 1 page at a time, we will measure 5 pages at a time so that we can get a little bit better measurement trying to get them together, because you can kind of squish a single page and it's really easy. So you do 5 pages and then divide it by 5, and we'll put that number up on the screen with the paperweight GSM type stuff info. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 books here. We're going to turn this on. We'll zero it out. There we go. Open it up. And then we'll put it together. We have, don't want to squish it too much. Just nice, sort of loose in there. Okay, so I'm gonna say we're at about 0.21 millimeters for Fantastic Four Volume 1. So I'll divide that by 5, and then we will put that up on the screen for you so you can see it. So that is the paperweight of 2022 reprint of Fantastic Four Volume 1. Now we'll go into Doctor Strange reprint. We'll grab 5 pages, make sure I'm not stuck together. 2, 3, 4, 5. Man, I love this book. Such a good story. We have it pushed together. We'll zero it out between each one. And then this one, actually, a little bit thicker. So this is 0.35 millimeters thick. We'll do that again, just double check. Yep, 0.35 millimeters thick. And then, I guess it doesn't do thousandths, it's 100ths, because it's 0.00. Sorry about that. Put just together, zero it out. Now we'll go into the first print of Annihilation. Get this open. This was such a fun book too. I loved the entire Annihilation, War of Kings, Annihilation Conquest saga. So good. 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, push these together. Zero it out. Now let's start that over again. Whoa. All right. So this is, yep, try not to squish the pages together and pinch them. Leave a little sliding in there. Okay, so 0.31 millimeters for 5 pages on Annihilation Conquest. And then we will move on to Captain America Volume 1 by Brubaker. First print, not the reprint that has come out. Zero that. We'll get 5 pages going here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Put it together. Zero it out. Yep, that feels good. 0.35 millimeters right there. Yeah, so that's a little bit thicker too. Surprised that these Annihilation was so thin in comparison. One thing, so there you have it. There's the paperweights, the page thicknesses. Put it up on the screen. Hopefully that helps. One thing I do want to look at is, like, in comparison, let's look at Annihilation and Fantastic Four, for instance. I want to compare translucency on the pages. So when you're looking through these pages, there's a lot of, let's find a page with some solid, like, white colors on here. This is all in space, so that's going to be kind of difficult. But, like, right here, you can kind of see, I'll grab my phone, turn on the flashlight, and you can see, do a flashlight, yeah, there you go. You can kind of see through the page slightly. Hopefully you can kind of see that. But when you are flipping the pages, you're not really seeing through. I'm not having any issues where I'm seeing through the pages. And this is what I noticed with, here, there might be some lighter pages over here. Yeah, like right here, that's a good example. I'm not seeing through this page what's on the back. And there's a lot of lines and dark lines right there, actually. So that's perfect. So if I shine through, it's really not showing much through. It's really hard to see through that. Takes a lot of light with a flashlight on there to see through. Now if we go over to, hopefully this shows up on the video. This is the one big issue, aside from, for some reason these pages are so much easier to bend. Let's get to some light. I mean, that's a full white page, so that's a little bit unfair because the other book didn't have it. But I mean, I'm just getting it close and you're already seeing through it quite a bit. But and that's very light on the other side too, actually. But like even right here, it's very easy to see through the panels on the opposite side. And I noticed, like, there's some decent light in here, but it is not super bright in here, and you can very easily see paneling through these pages all along. Everywhere you go, it's pretty apparent all through there. You can see lines, and even in here you can see transparency there. I can tell there's a text bubble on that side of the page or something. Yeah, like a square box, and there's a text. And like here I can see, I assume that's from the other page. Let's see if that line's on the other side there. Yeah, there's a line right there. And you can just see through everywhere. So these pages are, even if they're not that much thinner, I mean, they're pretty easy to accidentally bend if you just kind of try and grab one and, from the corner or something. Let's see if I can do it without covering up. Trying to grab, like, I noticed, like, it was pretty difficult. You had to, it's not difficult, but you had to concentrate and be aware when you're flipping pages not to accidentally crease it or something like that. But yeah, when you're looking through, like, I can see through stuff on that table, that foliage on that tree. I could see something fluffy or a bunch of line work right in there. So it is a little weird and a little distracting seeing all these lines through there, and it just kind of takes you out of the moment a little bit. That's my only issue, but I wanted to take a quick look at that on Fantastic Four and Annihilation, see how those lined up, and then really quick we can look at Doctor Strange, because this has a lot more thick colors and a lot less like gradients and things like that. So it should almost show through more. And you can, actually, I think I'm seeing the other page. Yeah, I was seeing that page through there along with this too. So, I mean, it is showing through. I don't know if you can exactly see that. Hopefully you can. But it might not show up on video as much. But that's my only issue. Is it's a little weird seeing all the text through here, and really you didn't get that with the old Omnis, an old page thickness. This one seems a little bit like a sturdier page. You don't worry too much about creasing it as much as I do with Fantastic Four. So, but I'll let the numbers speak for themselves, and it might be, you know, glossy versus matte. All of these seem to be pretty similar. This has a little bit more gloss on it versus this. And then these are also gloss. Well, this one has a little bit of gloss. It's not matte. DC tends to do a lot of like matte type paper, which I actually kind of like. But that's just, again, personal preference. So hopefully that helped. Hopefully that gives you a little idea, a little bit more numbers to work with. Calipers, you know, decent calipers are, you know, 20, 30, 40 bucks. So if you want to throw your hat in the ring and measure some other books or check my work, feel free to go for it. I'd love to know what you're thinking. All right, so that was a look in depth at the page thicknesses. Again, I did multiple pages at once just so that, because sometimes when you get really narrow, it can be, you know, kind of frustrating to try and get the calipers perfectly right. So if you do a little bit of a group of pages together, so did 5 pages for each, and then you divide that by 5, and then you can get the page thickness for each one. So that's how I read all over online. The best way to do it was, unless you have really high-end equipment that you can measure with. This is pretty nice. These are pretty nice calipers. So they're not exact probably. I might not have, you know, measured exactly, you know, if I'm squeezing the pages together or if I'm leaving a little bit of wiggle room or something like that. Try to get them snug but not squishing again. But hopefully that helps taking a look at it. Again, you know, I love thicker pages because, you know, they're more durable. You're not seeing through them. That's great. But if, you know, I know with the pandemic and paper shortages, if having thinner pages, this is my own personal opinion, if having thinner pages means that we can keep the books pretty close to the same price without all the prices going up, and actually get these reprints, because otherwise we're not going to be able to get them anyways because the paper is not, you know, sourceable. I'd much rather have lower quality paper and have these books rather than having higher quality paper and not being able to get the books anyways, or having to pay way more for them. And quite honestly, a lot of these books the reprints are a lot thinner because the paper is thinner. So it takes up a lot less shelf space and the book is lighter. So it's easier reading on your lap or taking with you if you travel with them at all. I know a lot of people don't. I tend to take them to work with me and read over lunch breaks or on vacations. But it takes up a lot less shelf space, so you have more room on your shelves for more books, which is awesome. And they're lighter to carry with you. So there's some pros and cons for both, because then, like you saw in especially the Fantastic Four Omni, it is a lot of the pages you can see right through. If there's solid coloring or a lot of white space on that page, you can see right through it, and it looks kind of wonky. And especially if you're holding the page up while you're reading it. A lot of people don't do that, but sometimes, you know, like as I'm getting to the end of a page, I start to flip it so I can just immediately go. And then all of a sudden you can see right through it. Maybe if you're reading a little bit darker of a room, which isn't great for your eyes anyways, you might not notice. And the first time I flipped through it, when I first got it, I didn't notice that the pages were transparent. But then when people brought it up, I went and I looked, I'm like, oh man, yeah, as soon as you lift up that page, and even if you don't lift up the page, if you're in a bright enough room, just like this, I have a couple ring lights and no overhead lights and a couple, floods behind me, I could see right through that page on a lot of the pages, probably 1 in 5 pages. So like 20% of the book, I could easily see through the pages, which is a little disappointing. But then again, I'd rather have these books in the format that they are than not be able to have them. So again, pros and cons, that's it. I hope this video helped. Maybe it sparked more debate, maybe it sparked more online rage. Who knows? We'll find out after this video goes live. Let me know in the comments what you think. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Please stay cool in the comments. Please don't argue too much. I love everyone being able to give their opinion, but please respect other people's opinions. Again, they're comics, they're fun. We're supposed to be a fun, great, cohesive community. Everyone can enjoy different things for different reasons. That's great. Enjoy what you love. But let me know in the comments what you think. Would you prefer an old, first print from way back in the day versus these reprints and even new prints that, they're not reprints, they're just a new book that are just using pretty much the same paper. Let me know in the comments what you think. And again, thanks for watching this video. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, do all those things. But yeah, again, most importantly, comment. And if you are feeling like supporting this channel, remember you can always hit up my sponsor section in the description of these videos and shop at Organic Price Books. Use code Omnibuddy for $2 off every order, or Omnibuddy ship it together for 5% off your entire order if you order 3 or more books and have them all shipped at once. So thank you again for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Hope this helped. Let me know if you have any questions. Maybe I'll have to do another follow-up video to this to use some different books. Maybe we'll do some DC or Image or Dark Horse or IDW. Who knows? Let me know in the comments what you think. All right, take care. Stay safe.